Just sitting here thinking, I noticed that we spend a lot of time worried about what everybody else is doing or what everybody else is not doing. And instead, we should be spending more time worrying about what we should be doing to correct ourselves, to correct our own flaws. If you notice in every forum, from religion to politics to entertainment to relationships, it's always about what the other person is not doing. It's always about the negative parts of everyone else, but it's never a time where no one says, what did I do? What am I doing? Is there anything in me that I need to correct, that I need to fix? You see regular people downing sports stars, calling them bums, or if they didn't win a game for someone else, but you've never dunked a basketball, you never scored a touchdown in the NBA or the NFL, but you always seem to criticize them. Then we have single people that are making judgment calls or criticizing relationships that they've never really had real deep, intimate ones in. They've never been married before in their lives, but they seem to become experts on how a woman or a man should act. And it just becomes this repetitive cycle of just everyone critiquing and overjudging the other person. Then you got politics, you got the Republicans, you got the Democrats. It's almost like you got the Bloods and you got the Crips and wearing suits and ties, and it's just everyone just going at each other's necks, but no one's wrong. No one has ever looked at themselves and said to themselves, I'm flawed and it seems like I've got it all figured out all the way through, but never any self-realization, never any real shadow work. Like for an example, like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. I see all these people that don't even know Will Smith personally act like they actually were the ones that got slapped. I just can't forgive him for what he did. You know, these people are like, if you let them tell it, man, they're Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Jesus. You know, it's like they're these perfect people, you know, never done anything wrong in their lives, but they just can't forgive a man that they've never met before in their lives. And you would have some that said that I'm doing the same thing, but actually, in all actuality, I'm not. I'm actually asking people to just take the time out to get your eyes and your fingers off everyone else, and let's look inside ourselves. Let's start seeing the things that we need to fix, the things that we need to balance out, the things that we need to say to ourselves that would help us to stop criticizing others. Is if we start judging ourselves a little bit harsher and equally in the way that we judge those people, maybe we'll start seeing some things within us, and maybe we'll be a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more graceful towards everybody else and their energy or lack thereof, and then their flaws. And I'm sure that's easier said than done, because it's easier to point fingers at others as opposed to looking at self. And I get it. Nobody wants to be wrong. And that's the crazy part, is that you have to be wrong. You can't be right all the time. And if you're right all the time, then that means you know it all. And if you know it all, then you don't need to be here. You need to go ahead and ascend. You need to go ahead and take off and let the rest of us who need to learn our lessons learn. But at the end of the day, we're all flawed. We're all going through something. We all have some trauma. And I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and deal with myself. What makes it easier for me to have this type of understanding and overstanding is because I know that I'm not perfect. And I know that there are people in my life that I may have hurt. And I know that there may have been people in my life that I've disappointed. So it makes it a lot easier for me to be able to have grace and understanding for other people, because I know that I'm not perfect. And I know that I have things that I have to work on to better myself as I go through this journey that we call life. And so, just to end it all, if there's anything on this plane of existence that you can't afford to lose, make sure that it's not your open mind.